Have you ever sat down with the intention of objectively identifying why you create? Like, why do you pick up a camera to tell a story? And for some people, it may be mainly for the art of it, and for others, it may be mainly for the technical challenge. I feel like I fall somewhere in between the two. Today, I want to talk about what I've identified to be my why, and then I'll give you a step-by-step guide on how to identify your why, because understanding your creative drive can not only transform how you work, but the impact that your work has on others. When I was first getting into the industry, part of my intention was to own my own business, and another part of my intention was to travel and see more of the world. Growing up, I got to travel quite a bit with my family, which was really cool, and it shaped who I am today. I think that's because a lot of the times when we traveled, it was less about seeing the sights, and it was more about understanding the culture and what makes them unique. That eventually led me down two different paths: tourism filmmaking and commercial filmmaking. And honestly, I couldn't choose between the two if I tried. I love them both. But if you're having a problem niching down, stick with me because your strength may be in the intersection. With tourism, I feel like the challenge is to strike people with that sense of wonder and discovery, to get people to stop scrolling and think, I need to experience that for myself. Whether it's the energy or the peacefulness, the challenge is to share experiences, not just show places. And commercial work lights up a completely different part of the brain. It's taking a product or service and trying to find its emotional core. Its why, if you will. Like, how do you take something tangible and turn it into a feeling, a solution, or something that connects with people? That's something that gets me excited every single time. What's really cool is seeing how these two worlds feed into one another. The storytelling I've developed from commercial work has really made my tourism work more impactful, and the requirement to find beauty in unexpected moments on tourism work has really impacted how I approach some of my commercial work. That's why I really encourage filmmakers to try different styles, because you never know what skill will translate or enhance another. It's also stuff like this that crosses over. I can still picture this moment that I was in Cambodia. I was inside of a temple and the sun was beaming through the crumbling rock and stone windows. It was catching this dust and creating these beautiful golden rays. That light and that exact mood is burned into my memory. Now I find myself on set trying to chase and recreate that light. I love most everything about both processes. In commercial work, it's the whole journey. From the initial concept meetings where ideas are flying around to those moments on set where everything just seems to click. Tourism has a lot of pre-production as well, but it's also heavily reliant on being present in the moment and finding those unexpected stories. Whether you're trying a different directing approach, a new editing technique, or maybe a different camera movement, your growth directly impacts how effectively you can tell a story. Irregardless of if I'm showcasing a destination or trying to tell a brand story, I think it all really boils down to one thing. That's finding an emotional connection. That may look like getting up early to capture a sunrise. Other times, it may be finding a way to show why that product matters in somebody's life. These days, I really get to live in both worlds, and I really wouldn't have it any other way. One day I may be on set in a beautiful location, and the next I may be at the studio shooting some commercial work. Both still give me that same level of excitement that I felt when I first picked up a camera. Now let's define your why. It's going to take some honest self-reflection and some analysis, but it's worth it. First, you need to examine your work. Write down everything you've done in the past year, paid or unpaid. For each project, we're going to note 3 things. What excited you the most? What felt natural? And what did others praise? You really need to try to identify patterns. These patterns will be the first clues to your creative DNA. Next, talk to your closest coworkers or your mentor if you have one, and analyze your skills objectively. What technical abilities do you consistently execute well? What do your peers tend to ask you for help with? These are probably your strengths and what will eventually become the foundation for your professional identity. And don't skip this step, because a lot of times others are able to see our talents more clearly than we are. Then you need to dig deep into your influences. Which creators, directors, or cinematographers inspire you? More importantly, what is it about their work or them that inspires you? Study and break down their work. Is it their technical precision? Their storytelling? Are they innovative? Understanding what you admire about somebody helps reveal what you find valuable in the creative process, which is critical for developing your own style. This step is a bit more fun. You need to experiment deliberately. Try different genres, styles, and approaches. For example, film a mini doc and a product commercial. Edit one for emotion and one for technical precision. And then know what energizes you and what drains you. Sometimes it's an uncomfortable step, but that's where growth can happen. Lastly, reflect on your findings. Where do your natural talents intersect with what excites you? That intersection will be your sweet spot, where you will produce your best work and your clients will see the most value. And remember this, excellence is the marriage of skill and passion. You may be attracted to action sequences, but if your strength is intimate character moments, that's where you're going to make your mark. You need to build your career around what you do exceptionally well, not just what you enjoy. This honesty with yourself up front will save you years of pursuing the wrong path. This is not a one-time exercise. This is something you need to continually think through, or at least revisit every couple years. You'll change and evolve as you grow, and you're on a creative journey. You're not going to a creative destination. I'm sharing my journey and what I've learned along the way. If you found this video helpful and want to continue learning together, consider following along. This is just the beginning of the conversation.